Hey everybody, it's Matt Hill. You're here at the Cadillac Barn once again with one of our oldest friends, and I don't mean like the oldest friend in the world. We know older friends than this guy, but we've known him for a long time. Anyways, and he's a world famous tattoo artist and a great guy. Oliver Peck from Paramount TV's Ink Master. Did I say it right?
You got it.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, man.
How many years is it now?
Man, we're right this minute, season 11.
That's unbelievable.
It's on the air.
That's
And we're scheduled to film season 12 starting January.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've
not 11 years, 11 seasons.
I record it and watch it every season,
There you go.
just hoping for the one or two or three Oliver moments of the year.
They slip a few in there.
Oh man, no, I like the little tidbits that where you just go, that looks jacked, bro. That looks jacked. It's like, yeah, that cracks me up.
A lot of lingo I've spun out.
Well, we have a lot to talk about because we've known each other for such a long time, and there's a million questions I would ask, and probably all stuff we've already talked about before, but never with cameras on. So, first of all, I want to talk about tattoos.
Bingo.
Yeah, but you didn't see that one coming.
Wait.
No,
Tats?
Yeah, I know.
Great badass tats.
Kick-ass tats.
Kick-ass.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. A little bit of history. When we first met,
You were too young to get tatted.
I was too young to get tatted, but you weren't tattooing out of a shop at all. At least I don't think you were.
When we first met, no.
Yeah. And then the next time I saw you after that specific night, you were tattooing at that place Boomerang out of in Oak Lawn. It's like a vintage clothing store.
Yeah, and it was called.
I thought it was Boomerang. I thought that
Boomerang was the vintage shop, and then
in
next
the
door,
back
Trilogy Tattoo.
Okay, all right.
Was the little back tattoo area.
Right.
And then the vintage shop didn't do so well, and the tattoo shop did so well that it just became Trilogy Tattoo, and Boomerang went away.
Right. So I just was in there looking for a cool shirt to pay too much money for, and wound up seeing you again. It's like, hey, you're that guy. Remember that time? Anyway, so then fast forward, you're working out of Paradise.
Paradise on Elm and Pearl.
Elm and Pearl, right? And we spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Just,
We went to high school right down the street.
Which was a big game changer in the sort of world of tattoo, especially in Dallas-Fort Worth, because Richard Stell moved to town, and I feel like there were a lot of young dudes at that shop that he was really showing.
The big deal was when Richard Stell moved from Houston to Dallas. Richard Stell was a nationally known tattooer.
Right.
There was not really anybody tattooing at his level in Dallas at the time. So he came, and just once he came to Dallas, everybody in the tattoo industry was like, whoa, Dallas has a shop like this now. And I started hanging out there instantly.
Right.
And within a few months, I was working at the other place, was as yet untrained and just kind of self-taught. And, another word for self-taught is untaught.
Right.
So you could say you're self-taught. That just means you haven't learned anything yet.
Right.
But so Richard basically was like, one day he was like, do you want to learn how to tattoo? And I said, yes. He's like, you want to come work here? I said, yes. He said, when can you be here? I was like, you tell me when. He goes, be here tomorrow at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And I quit the place, showed up there, and basically that's when I started to learn how to tattoo professionally.
Well, for Steve and I know Steve and I have had this conversation about tattoos and stuff, and especially when it comes to Dallas, and just the fact that when Richard Stell moved to town, that changed everything.
Yeah.
Because there was only a couple of shops that you could even get a tattoo in Dallas that anybody knew about really so much, and then when he came, it just sort of exploded the whole knowledge of what was the difference between good stuff and not so good stuff.
Exactly.
It just changed the whole thing. And then we started going on the road and met friends that you had, like
everybody knew.
Eric Mosky and
that's the thing, is
Dave Gibson and people like that.
Tattooers of that level all know each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this. It's not that big of a world.
Right.
Like Richard Stell knew Ed Hardy at Tattoo City, and knew Chris Trevino in Austin, and knew Eric Mosky in California, and all this stuff. So it's just like once I got in with Richard, I just slowly over the next couple of years met that network.
Right.
Blended, got into that network, and that's when my real strive and love for what tattooing has become really got a headwind and started going.
For us with the music, it was us going on the road and seeing going to a lot of those shops. We started to know about it a little bit more through guys like you and everybody in that shop, Richard and things like that. And we would go on the road and we would go, okay, well, let's go see if we can get tattooed by Eric Mosk.
Yeah.
Let's go see if Dave Gibson is even in the shop. We did, and I did, and so it just kind of opened your head up to a whole new world, which makes it interesting to me now, the way that the things have changed. I mean, there's so many things that you could say about the way that it was then, as you know, information on music or tattoos or anything was more proprietary, as far as like, okay, somebody had to sort of show you what was up, as opposed to now everybody going on the computer and being able to, you know, Google search this, that, and the other, and have their own free tutorial. What are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, I have my own thoughts about the way it affects music.
Well, I mean, the technology has just shortened the learning curve.
Right.
You know, now, I mean, if you just learn the basics of playing guitar right now, you can get on YouTube and pick a song and just instantly have a guy that sits there and walks you through every chord, and within an hour you can play that song.
Oh, and I do it.
Yeah, but and so in tattooing, before the internet, before that, if you wanted the reference of an eagle, you had to like buy a book of eagles. Right. You had to go look at people, find reference in all kinds of places. You know what I mean? Go buy artwork from artists and buy flash pages from artists and have those books, tons of books. And I know there's that one eagle in this one book, Owen Jensen book, and you look for it and you find it and you use that as reference. Now, I have it all in my pocket.
Right.
Everything in the world that's ever existed since the beginning of time is in my pocket right now.
Well, you probably knew a lot of it before.
Well, I mean, but now when I do a tattoo, I use that technology.
Sure.
You know, and it's pretty easy. But I think what took people from the previous generations years and years to do, now younger tattooers are doing in a lot less time.
Yeah.
You know, I've got tattooers that I've hired that have been tattooing 3 years, you know, in the past. You know, I've hired someone who's been only been tattooing 3 or 4 years, and they're way better than I was when I'd only been tattooing 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, they've got 10 years of experience, like, easily, readily available.
So in the end, the proof's in the pudding, and then the work always stands on its own, and basically, like, you wouldn't consider yourself, like, maybe there are some crotchety dudes out there that's like, well, back in my day, we used to have to do this, that, and the other, where it's like the equivalent of what you're talking about, looking for the right book of eagles or whatever. It's equivalent of me moving the needle on the record player and playing it again and having to get it in that 10 seconds, and then you know, having to use your ear to figure it out a little bit better, as opposed to going and just looking on YouTube to have somebody show you how to do it. Like, the proof is in the pudding in the end, right?
Well, I think that the one thing I notice about a lot of younger generation people that things come really easy to is, again, like, the easier you get it, the less weight it has, the less importance it has, the less you work for something, the less you really respect and care for it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people get into bands and boom, 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 and then they're not working that hard for it, so it's like it comes and goes.
Yeah.
You still have to have the drive, you still have to have the dedication, you still have to have, you know, anybody can learn a tattoo and get decent in 1 or 2 years.
Right.
But it's not that big a deal.
Sure.
Like, if you go through what the people before me went through, I mean, they hold on to it.
Yeah.
You know, you work so hard for something, you got a tight grip on it.
Yeah.
So getting things easy is not always the best.
Yeah, I agree. I can relate to that. All right, so we're going to do more and more segments about different things. We have so much stuff to talk about, but this is our friend Oliver Peck here at the Cadillac Barn. So like and subscribe, tune in to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Look at all of them.